You might be thinking, North Macedonia? Where's that on the map again? Don't worry, you're not alone. This little country in the Balkans has been overlooked for, well, pretty much ever. But trust me, North Macedonia's history is anything but boring. We're talking ancient empires, epic battles, religious clashes, and even a little bit of socialist flair. It's like a historical greatest hits album, all packed into one fascinating country. So, buckle up because we're about to dive headfirst into the wild ride that is North Macedonian history. North Macedonia, nestled in the heart of the Balkans, is a country that has seen the rise and fall of numerous civilizations. From the ancient kingdom of Paeonia to the powerful Macedonian Empire under Alexander the Great, this land has been a crossroads of history. Imagine travelers from centuries past, navigating through this region, each leaving their mark. The Romans, the Byzantines, the Slavs, and the Ottomans all played a part in shaping the rich tapestry of North Macedonia's history. This little country in the Balkans has been overlooked for, well, pretty much ever. But trust me, North Macedonia's history is anything but boring. We're talking ancient empires, epic battles, religious clashes, and even a little bit of socialist flair. It's like a historical greatest hits album, all packed into one fascinating country. So buckle up because we're about to dive headfirst into the wild ride that is North Macedonian history. The Socialist era left its own unique imprint, with grandiose architecture and propaganda that still echoes through the streets of Skopje. It's like a historical greatest hits album, all packed into one fascinating country. So, buckle up because we're about to dive headfirst into the wild ride that is North Macedonian history. So buckle up because we're about to dive headfirst into the wild ride that is North Macedonian history. You know how some countries are like the quiet kid in class who suddenly becomes a world-famous musician? That's North Macedonia. You know how some countries are like the quiet kid in class who suddenly becomes a world-famous musician? That's North Macedonia. This place has seen it all. Romans, this place has seen it all. Romans, Ottomans, you name it. Ottomans, you name it. They even had a stint in Yugoslavia, which, let's be honest, was basically Europe's version of a reality TV show. They even had a stint in Yugoslavia, which, let's be honest, was basically Europe's version of a reality TV show. But through it all, the people of North Macedonia held on to their culture, their language. But through it all, the people of North Macedonia held on to their culture, their language, and their love of really good cheese. And now they're finally getting the recognition they deserve. From vibrant festivals to the preservation of ancient traditions, North Macedonia is a testament to resilience and cultural pride. So, next time you look at a map, remember this small but mighty country that packs a historical punch. Let's rewind to the very beginning, back when humans still thought fire was a pretty neat party trick. We're talking prehistoric times, folks. Even back then, North Macedonia was the place to be. Archaeologists have found evidence of settlements dating back to 6000 BC. That's older than your grandpa's jokes about dial-up internet. Fast forward a few thousand years, and North Macedonia became part of the Kingdom of Macedon. And who could forget the most famous Macedonian of them all, Alexander the Great? This guy was basically the Beyoncé of ancient warfare. He conquered most of the known world before most people knew what the known world even was. And guess what? He was born just a stone's throw away from what is now North Macedonia. Not bad for a country that's smaller than some US states. The Middle Ages were a wild time to be alive, especially in North Macedonia. This was prime real estate for any empire worth its salt. The Byzantines, the Bulgarians, the Serbs, they all took turns ruling over this little slice of the Balkans. It was basically a medieval game of musical chairs, but with more swords and less fun. Amidst all this chaos, a local hero emerged, Tsar Samuil. He united the Slavic tribes and created a powerful kingdom. For a hot minute, it looked like North Macedonia might actually become the next big thing in Europe. But then, the Byzantines came knocking with their fancy armor and even fancier insults. Samuil's kingdom eventually crumbled, and North Macedonia became part of the Byzantine Empire. Ouch. Section 4. Under the Ottoman rug, centuries of coffee, baklava, and, well, you know. If the Middle Ages were a game of musical chairs, the Ottoman Empire was like that one friend who comes over and never leaves. They didn't just visit, they settled in, rearranged the furniture, and made themselves at home. They rolled into town in the 14th century and stayed for a cool 500 years. Imagine the impact of half a millennium of influence on the culture, architecture, and daily life of North Macedonia. Now I know what you're thinking. 500 years? That's a long time to borrow a cup of sugar. And you'd be right, the Ottomans didn't just borrow, they left an indelible mark on the region. Life under Ottoman rule wasn't all sunshine and baklava. There were taxes, military conscriptions, and a certain loss of autonomy that came with being part of a vast empire. There were definitely some downsides like, not being in charge of your own destiny. But the Ottomans also brought administrative organization and a certain level of stability to the region. But hey, at least they brought coffee. The rich, aromatic beverage became a staple, and coffee houses turned into social hubs where people gathered to discuss everything from politics to poetry. Plus, Ottoman architecture added a certain je ne sais quoi to North Macedonia's already charming towns and cities. The intricate designs and grand structures still stand today, telling stories of a bygone era. It's like they always say, when life gives you Ottoman rule, make Turkish delight, or something like that. The culinary influence is undeniable, with sweets and savory dishes that have become integral to the local cuisine. And let's not forget the cultural festivals and traditional music that have roots tracing back to Ottoman times. These elements have woven themselves into the fabric of North Macedonian culture, creating a rich tapestry of history and tradition. Section 5. Yugoslavia, a socialist experiment and the road to freedom. After World War I, North Macedonia found itself part of a new country, Yugoslavia. Imagine a country made up of different republics, each with its own language and culture. Now, imagine trying to get them all to agree on what to have for dinner. That was Yugoslavia in a nutshell. North Macedonia became a socialist republic within Yugoslavia. They traded their fezzes for factories and their bazaars for brutalist architecture. It wasn't perfect, but it was a step towards self-determination. Plus, they got free healthcare and education, which is more than you can say for some countries. America. Section 6. Independence Day. North Macedonia finds its feet, and a really long name. Remember that whole Yugoslavia is like a dysfunctional family dinner analogy? Well, it was more chaotic than ever. Well, things finally came to a head in the early 1990s, leading to major changes. Yugoslavia broke up, and North Macedonia declared its independence in 1991, marking a new beginning. They even threw themselves a party and everything, celebrating their newfound freedom. But achieving independence is like winning a marathon. It's just the beginning. You're exhausted, sweaty, and now you have to figure out what to do with your life, which is no easy task. North Macedonia faced economic challenges, political instability, and a name dispute with Greece that seemed to drag on longer than a Kanye West Twitter rant. Talk about a rough start, but they persevered through it all. Section 7. North Macedonia today, Europe's newest kid on the block. So, where does North Macedonia stand today? This small but vibrant country in the heart of the Balkans has been making significant strides on the global stage. Well, they finally resolved that whole name thing with Greece in 2019. It only took them 27 years. The Prespa Agreement was a monumental step forward, allowing them to move past decades of dispute. They're a member of the United Nations, which has given them a platform to voice their perspectives and contribute to global discussions. And they're working towards joining the European Union, a goal that signifies their commitment to economic and political reforms. This journey is not easy, but North Macedonia is determined to meet the criteria and join the European family. They're even making a name for themselves in the world of tourism. With its stunning landscapes, rich history, and warm hospitality, North Macedonia is becoming a must-visit destination. North Macedonia is like that friend who went through a major glow-up. They've embraced their past, preserving their cultural heritage and historical sites. They're looking towards the future, investing in modern infrastructure and technology. The country is becoming a hub for young professionals and innovators, and they're ready to show the world what they're made of. From vibrant cultural festivals to a thriving arts scene, North Macedonia is bursting with energy and creativity. They've got stunning natural beauty, delicious food that will tantalize your taste buds, and a welcoming atmosphere that makes every visitor feel at home. And a history that's more fascinating than an episode of Game of Thrones. From ancient castles to modern museums, there's so much to explore and learn. So next time you're planning a trip, why not give North Macedonia a try? Whether you're an adventure seeker, a history buff, or a foodie, there's something here for everyone. Just don't ask them to explain the name thing again. They've moved on, and so should we. Let's celebrate North Macedonia for what it is today, a dynamic and exciting country with a bright future ahead.